In your markets news, the JSE is trading higher with the all-share index up 0.1% at 86,953. Currently, the rand is trading at 18 rands 01 to the dollar, 23 rands 02 to the pound, and 19 rands 09 to the euro. Gold is currently trading at $2,642, while platinum is at $941. The price of Brent crude oil is currently down at $71.70 per barrel. Warwick Lucas from Vunani Securities is our market analyst for today. Warwick, thank you so much and welcome to On Point. Let's quickly recap on major data this week. It was quite a busy week. We saw GDP, PMI, consumer confidence, as well as the current account data coming out yesterday. How can you wrap around the week that was for this week?
Hi, right. I think what I'd focus on there is that Q3 GDP. I mean, I think that was really a very rude surprise for all concerned. I don't think anyone was looking for anything like a negative. Not a great number was expected, but that kind of reversal was a bit of a rude surprise to say the least. And I think some pause to reflect on the causes. There obviously the biggest problem coming through in agricultural data, but there obviously is some drilling through that's needed there. Of course, El Nino and drought conditions being a problem and so on, but generally water being an issue as well. I mean, our current account data that it was basically okay-ish, but also not picking up any massive benefit there from where the rand has been, so we're not seeing that heading in any particular direction that gives us a great steer. So I suppose it's steady as we go, but we need to pick up our game as a country.
Yeah. We also have the finance ministers and central governors G20 meetings in Johannesburg this coming week. And given the eventful year on the inflation as well as interest rate front globally and fiscal constraints for many governments that they face, what can we expect to be top of the agenda at these meetings? And what benefit would these kind of meetings, that's a year-long meeting, would it have to the domestic economy in particular?
Okay, so there's a variety of ways to look at it. I mean, first of all, the chair actually sets the agenda for the G20. So, the country then has a chance to steer global discussions towards their priorities, whether that's infrastructure development, climate change, debt restructuring, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that kind of alignment can be helpful. I mean, in terms of the economic opportunities, well, I mean, hosting G20 events can boost the country's visibility, attract foreign investment. It generally raises profile, some tourism and hospitality there. Generally, capacity building as well. I mean, to host the G20, it's quite an expensive event for sure, because there's things like securities, logistics, infrastructure. But then in that case, you've got to look good. So capacity building, make sure your roads are fixed, that the taps don't run dry, etc., because your upside is your perception, trade relations, soft power, but you don't harvest any of that benefit if you look a bit pathetic. So wherever the primary events are being hosted, best that municipality is whipped into line to make sure that they actually don't let the country down.
And let's hope they won't let the country down. But let's throw forward to the next week, Warwick. It's going to be another busy data week. We've got mining and manufacturing production data out, inflation and retail sales. We've got PPI that I saw that has just gone into deflation, as well as the business confidence index. What's Vunani Securities' expectations on that data front?
Right, so PPI is tremendously volatile. So always a hard one to get a bit of a steer on. Do recall, in terms of inflation, CPI last month, we had an extraordinary number of 2.8, which was substantially driven by a drop in transport data. We won't see that repeated. It does mean that we should expect a little bit of a rebound in the next number coming out. Okay. Probably in the order of about between 3.4 and 3.6. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking at last month was basically a cyclical low, but it doesn't mean that inflation is going to run away. Retail sales, that should be fairly quiet as well. I ditto business confidence.
All right. Warwick Lucas, thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate you making sense of the markets for us. We do thank you for your time.
Pleasure.